Good morning, Sri Lanka. Welcome back to the show. You're here with me, Amaya, and I have Banu on the show as well. And we've been speaking to you earlier about mid-seas delicacies and going from food to something a bit deeper and something that affects all of us in general. I'm not saying food doesn't, food definitely does. But when it comes to taking control of your life, it's something that everyone would love to do. But sometimes you just feel overwhelmed by all the external factors that are around you that seem out of your control. And it's hard to keep motivated, and it's hard to believe that you are in control of your life. But on that note, we have two very positive gentlemen, I would say, on the show with us, and they are here to share their message of how you can really become the best person you can be and the person that you want to be. Am I right, Banu?
Wow, Maya, the introduction was amazing, you know.
But
really?
You're here to introduce the amazing gentleman we have with us.
Of course, it's my duty, but just gave you a compliment early this morning, Amaya.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
Blush.
So without much ado, as Amaya rightfully pointed out, we've got two opinion formers, opinion leaders in the industry that we're going to talk about. It's not just about motivation, it's about leadership as well. The right skill. You need to have that iota of talent in any industry that you are in. So it's my privilege and honor to say hello to Fahad, Farook, who is the M motivator behind the success, and also Charitha Bandara, who is a brain technologist behind this particular program. So good morning to the both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How is it so far? Enjoying the morning on the show?
Yeah, it's fantastic, you know, bright and early.
I love that spirit, you know.
Yeah, well, it is how you're supposed to be motivated, right?
Exactly.
Day.
Right
you
on
seem
spot.
like a morning person, Fahad.
I'd like to think of myself as, but not really. You know.
Okay. All right.
Between, I guess.
In the middle.
It's always good to have a balance, Amaya.
It is. It always
Yeah.
is. But now, on speaking about this initiative that you started up, actually your company, let's talk about this. I mean, where did you think of this idea? When did the light bulb go up above your head that we can do something like this? And what is it?
Well, it's based sort of on a 3-year research study that we've been carrying out, because one of the biggest problems we've seen is that a lot of the companies or even HR professionals, they send people for training programs, but they have no way to quantify the results. Yes. So what we decided was, okay, we need to create something that has an impact, but is also going to be fun to go through. So we came up with something that is in 3 parts: realization, results, and recognition. So the realizations are created through a motivational program, and then based on that we have certain results that they're supposed to drive, and then the recognition that happens. So it's the Take Control program is a auditory, visual, and kinesthetic experience. It's a 2-hour experience that they go through, and based on that they sort of have these positive vibes that they want to channel in to things that they can change. So based on their personal environment, their work environment, or even their social environment, go out there, do something about it. If something bothers you, do something about it, and then tell us about it.
You mentioned positive vibes. Explain it further. What do you mean exactly?
Well, the concept is a positive virus. We have this thing called a positive virus, where we say if you believe something needs to change, then you need to do something about it. So you unsubscribe others as a problem, because one thing we do as human beings is we're great at complaining. So this is not working, this is not working, this is not working. But what we say is, after you go through our experience, we give you certain insights to say, okay, these realizations come in, and then if you want to change something, you go about and change it. So if we have a whole community of people going around doing these changes,
So in other words, it's about finding the solution within yourself,
or being part of a solution. Being part of the solution.
Okay.
So you have support as well then around you, where you
Of
know
course,
that people, other people are doing this changes in their lives as well. But we need to go into more detail on that. But Charitha, I have to ask you first now. Fahad spoke about quantifying this, and the process that you have developed actually helps you to quantify these qualities in people. So how does that process work?
If you ask me, can you quantify motivation? What I say is, yes, I can.
Wow.
If you ask me, can you? I say, yes, I can. Then you might ask me something very silly, but I know how to do it, because I'm coming up with a technology called brain technology. Brain technology is where you don't ask, where do you say, I can't. If you want to do something, you have to ask, how can I do it? The moment that you ask, how can I do it, you see a lot of solutions coming in. So this is what we are going to do. Now we are going to take control of our lives, and we are going to invite the community to join with us. So it's not a miracle, it's a simple stuff. So how we are going to quantify in this program within 2 hours time. We are going to bring in realizations. So it's a carefully designed visual, auditory, and kinesthetic program, where you have even a light show inside the program. So this is the first time in the Sri Lankan history we are going to portray the real world class training. It's a real world class experience for you to have insights. We bring in insights. So if you see something here, we will twist it and we'll ask you, what do you see? We're not going to judge you whether it's right or wrong, but we're going to say, what is your choice? Life is a choice. Now after this, what we are going to do is we invite you to do something positive. Find out a personal, social, professional issue. So you might have certain issues. So if you say, I have this issue, what to do? No one will give you answer. If you say, I can't do anything, yes, of course you're right. Whatever you say is right. In our system, we don't have right or wrongs. If you ask, how can I solve this? You might get certain answers. Your circle of concerns is this much, but circle of influence, if it is this much, you have a lot of dissatisfaction inside you. So sometimes you try to get a lot of motivation from external factors, but for us, life is all about internal satisfaction at the end. So internal satisfaction, for you to have, you should know in what race you are running. Now if I ask you a question, if you want to get the gold medal in a 100-meter race, how long you should run?
100
How long? It's a 100-meter race.
Yeah, so you run 100 meters.
100 meters. If it's a 5,000-meter race, how long you should run? How long? 5,000. So you are running 100
We should have
meters.
come up with those answers faster, I feel, but I
you're
was
running
waiting for the
100-meter
tricky
race.
part of the
Yeah,
question.
Exactly.
I'm using certain techniques. You're running 100 meter, you're running 5,000 meter. So
Yes.
when you on the way, if you look at her, 100 meters, she achieves this, I don't have. So external factors puts you down. So you cannot have her line. So what we say is, choice is yours. Have your own target. Do that initiative within 30 days. Come into our web portal, upload. We have a world-class
So
software
basically the goal is very individual.
You select
You compete with yourself.
yourself, you beat your best. So you upload our web portal, and we have a back-end software. So it takes in and it quantifies the training results, the amount of hours spent, the lost hours, the benefit you brought in, tangible benefits, intangible. So it's a complex thing, because we have done a 3-year research study. So then what we are going to do is we are going to report this if HR has spent on this. So we are going to send this report to HR as a value addition. Even if not, if you have spent 2,000 rupees in this program, what we guarantee is we are going to save 20,000 of your annual expenses. If you ask,
How is that?
How is that? That's the question. How is that? I'll give you the answer. We have 24 merchandising community benefit card. So next year, in every program, we are going to do at least 500 participants, 18 to 40 corporate executives, managers. We are going to invite them to be here. If you are strategically aligned in your life, if you know what you want to achieve, in what race you are running, 100 meters or 5,000 meters, if you spend 2,000 rupees here, you can save 20,000 rupees. How? We have different 24 brands. They give us 5%, 7%, 3% discounts. So when you show this, you exclusively get this benefit. By doing it, we, based on these open economic fundamentals, we pass that benefit to you. You come here into the program and you deliver something to the country, society and the organization, you add value. So it's an interdependent system. So this model concept, we came up with this 3-year research study. So then once you do it, what we say is it's a short-term motivation for you to do something, but continuously do, because we are going to conduct the first ever Power Awards in Sri Lanka. Power Awards means we are going to recognize 100 corporates whom they have brought in a lot of value additions to their organization. Sometimes the HR, sometimes the CEO, they might be very busy because their focus is different. If you are asking for motivation from them, external factors, it's hard. People can't be motivated every time. That inspiration should come within. So what
and I think in the corporate world, there is a level of motivation is very, very low.
Yeah.
How do you see this part? Because I think in the marketing world we are coming to an era where we're practicing employee orientation, but the CEO or the managing director actually takes the perspective of the employee rather than the customer, which is the normal orientation that we talk about. How do you see that in line with this?
In line with this, what I know is I'm not educated. I'm not educated. Why? I don't know rules.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to portray as a brain technologist. This brain, when you are conditioned things, you are in frames. When you move out from the frames and see how can I do it, things come in. So this is an open way of looking at things.
Okay.
If we bring in results to you, we don't need to find out whether it's right or wrong, the background where it's coming from. We need results. Now we can't spend so much of time for this. So this 1 year program, we are going to train 5,000 corporates at the first year research study. So we are launching the next 3-year study. So second year, third year, once we are done with the 3-year plan, we are going to publish this data to the entire country, because we have a separate vision. So this is just a 1 year program. So we would like to invite all the corporate HR, CEOs, decision makers to experience what we are doing, because it's 2,000 rupees. 2,000 rupees you spend, we will save 20,000 rupees your annual expenses.
And that's in the long
guaranteed.
term.
In long term. And we are going to recognize your employees. We are going to do it because training is not a business for us. It's a passion. What I always tell to my leadership team is, I don't have a business. I don't run behind a business. I run behind a purpose. So then money comes behind me. This is what I do always. So sometimes people ask me, you are going to train 100 trainers, you're going to lose your business. What I say is, I don't have a business. I run behind a purpose. There are a lot of money around me. I'm not money driven, but if you want, collect those money and be happy. Our purpose is to make sure people be very happy and they have a self-satisfied life, not competing with each other but meeting your best. This is what we are doing.
But Charitha, that is an amazing goal to have, and I wish that more people could share your way of thinking. But on that note, I'm going to be a bit of a devil's advocate here, and because the corporate culture that you see here in Sri Lanka is not one where you would think personally of your goals, and it's all about being better than your neighbor and surpassing whatever achievements that they have done. It's all about collecting degrees and collecting different letters next to your name. It's become that, and it's sad, but it's true. That's the situation here. And also when it comes to the type of program that you're suggesting, which involves interaction as well as lights, sounds, feelings, do you think, what kind of response do you expect from the corporates out there? Because it's something new that you've put out there.
Excuse me to tell you, we thought that it would be very hard for us to sell, but let's see what he's going to say.
Well, we actually feel quite wonderful, because within 6 days we were sold out. So the feeling was amazing.
Did you expect that?
We did not actually. Okay. We were 6 days sold out, and
such a pleasant surprise.
It was a pleasant surprise, and we were like, okay, so that happened, and so which is why we're in the process of planning the January program, which is going to be for about 500 people. And I think part of the reason that we were sold out so fast is because the proceeds from the show in November is going to a cancer charity. So what we decided was that to start off with, we don't want any money for ourselves. Of course, we'd cover the expenses and then channel this towards cancer. So that drove it as well.
To tell you more about this, it's not a business for us. We have a company, but we have something called Take Control Foundation. We work on 5 areas that is related to cancer, children, youth, disability and environment. So we have a separate arm in making this country a better place, because our dream is to be the preferred inspirational hub to make this country a developed country, to live with peace, happiness, prosperity and self-satisfaction.
Wow. And on that note, on a very positive note, we have to go for a very short break, Banu. But do stay with us here on Good Morning Sri Lanka, because we will be right back with more motivational tips and tricks here on the show with these gentlemen. So do stay with us here on Good Morning Sri Lanka.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Sri Lanka. We were talking about the specific event that if you just missed, well, too bad for you, but you can always log into YouTube and catch a glimpse and like us on our Facebook fan page as well. It's www.facebook.com/goodmorningsrilanka. So hi to you once again. It's been a privilege. We learned a lot about what the event was. And tell us, this is a question that I'm going to direct to the both of you. How is this event different from the other motivational conferences and events that has been taken place in Sri Lanka so far? Because I know this is very unique, it's for a different target audience as well. So how do you define that?
Well, in terms of, there are a lot of things called motivation going on in Sri Lanka right now. But if we look at what really happens at those programs, it's a flash in the pan sort of thing that happens once and then it's done. But the difference with this is that we try to look in terms of the longer term. How can we get certain results for this in terms of a person's immediate work, personal or even social environments? So the difference here is that it's not a short-term journey. It's not just 2 hours. The 2 hours is just to create realization, and based on that you have actions. And based on those actions you get recognized. So it's more longer term in terms of what it does.
So this is actually just the beginning for something huge to come, and
most definitely.
A span of 1 year.
To start off with, it's a span of 1 year. So the award ceremony, the Power Initiative or the Power Awards, to recognize these individuals who submit their initiatives, will happen in November next year. So this bracket is happening in 1 year, but overall our plan is much bigger, much longer.
But the crux of the 2-hour program that you initially started off is to motivate people to add value to their lives. So let's have some examples of what you mean by this, adding value to everything you do in life.
Right.
Right. One simple example. When I went to Japan, I saw one kid in a training program. He was erasing like this, and he did an action. It was for me it was a surprise. Now, normally if we erase something, what are we going to do? Not you. What you have seen outside, what they're doing, you erase and then blow. Do it. So that could be your practice. In this program we will give you examples. We are going to give Sri Lankan examples. By end of this period, 100 Sri Lankan examples. In this program we will introduce 3 Sri Lankan examples who have done brilliant things here, but no one knows. Now that example, eraser, when you get this realization that you can improve, you can be better, but you have to know, what you should know is, can I do it differently? If you ask that, can I do it differently, my value-adding, self-driven initiative is not to blow. I will take it to my hand and I will put it to the dustbin. I will not put things down. I will not put a dustbin. I'm putting things into the dustbin. So that is my self-driven, value-adding power initiative. So there are no more things around us. So then likewise, there can be so many things. You want to get rid of your fat. So what is your desired state? Maybe you like to be in this 80 kilos. But sometimes it might be a pain. I want to get rid of, but you don't take actions. So what we say is, if you want to take actions, always remember, Anthony Robbins says, there are 2 things. You move out from the pain, you reach towards the pleasure. Now if you don't have a long-term life goal, what happens is, you think doing exercises is pain. So for you to have pleasure, what you're going to do is, you're going to go and sit and sleep or watch the TV. Now if you have a long-term perspective, by this time I need to do this, because on 26th program, in my program I have told, as at now I'm this number of kilos, 26th program if you see me, I should be this. I have communicated that. Now for this, in order to have my credibility right at that program, I need to reduce my weight. So that pain is what? Pain is losing the credibility. Pleasure is working for it. So we change the perspectives.
Wow, okay. So do you help out each corporate who will be attending the program individually as well? Or is it something where you have an ongoing process of feedback, communicating back and forth?
This, I told you this, we have a world-class software system where you feed, quantify, we give the report to the HR. So then what we are going to do is, it's not the only program what we do. We have life rewiring programs, life rewiring youth programs, take control sports programs. So we do all these things to go to our dream. So personally, now if you tell me I have a problem, I'll ask, what's the problem? I don't need to know the problem. I want to know, how do you feel inside? Do you see visuals? It's like a video, it's a flat thing. Right, then I will find out where it is. Herein we have the brain juice. Because of the brain juice orientations, we see things. So what we know is, if I want to help you personally for that problem, I know how to delete it, how to enlarge it. If you want to achieve something, how to visualize. So we have the personal coaching sessions as well, even executive coachings for CEOs and higher levels. Sometimes we do consultation for politicians as well, but we don't disclose. Now you might wonder, where were these guys for this? Because we never wanted to come in. We wanted to get the life skills, life exposure. I was doing 14 years training, 8 years corporate training. So then now we are fit enough to face the public. So likewise, this is why we are coming now. It does not mean that we are just popped in. We have a background. What we need to do is, if you need to go to a vision in your life, you need to have a proper background. You need to study, you need to get the qualifications, you need to get the exposure, because people, if someone asks, do you have this? You have to say, yes, I have this example. So life examples will help them to be whom they want to be. So, but the choice is yours. You have to tell us, I want this, I want to go to this destination. So we'll show you how to do, because we are doing it, we have achieved the results, and we are going to give it. But if you don't want, no one can help.
I think all the objectives should be SMART, Maya. Should be specific, measurable, the normal SMART objectives that we talk about, achievable on a basic time frame, and then I think you could actually achieve it, and I think you all are doing a great job at that as well. So good luck, actually, from the bottom of our hearts, the entire crew at MTV Sports. Good morning, Sri Lanka. Wish the event to be a success.
Thank you very much.
And we're learning a lot as well, Amma, don't you think?
Yeah, but before we go, Banu, I just have to ask you, now what if someone is happy with their life? I mean, they're satisfied, they have the job, they have the car, they have the family in place, they have a 5-figure, 6-figure salary. So what should be the reason that people come for this program? Because what more can you offer someone who's already satisfied with
You're
their life?
asking from me or him?
Well, I'll ask Fahad, and then if you want to Charitha, you can add in.
What we believe is that there's always a better way. Whatever you're doing, there's always a better way. You can always be better, because your life has various facets, various paradigms. So you have, I have wife, kids, I have the car, I have the salary, but there's some part of your life where you wish you could be better. That's human nature. We are always striving for something more. So even what you're doing right now, you could do it better. So how do we come up with a way to find that part of your life? Because what I believe is, with everyone, with human beings, we're all just a bunch of emotions. We deal with emotions every day. Customers, employers, suppliers, everything is emotion. So we tap into that emotion and say, okay, look inside, see what you need, what is going to impact you the most, and then you can push from there. The answer you get from Chari is going to be
How long I have?
You
can go on.
If I have 1 hour, I will have a different answer. If I have 30 seconds, I will have the different answer.
We'll have somewhere in between there.
Okay.
Let's try for 2 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
In short, life is a choice. If you are happy with whatever you have, be happy. Because our purpose is to be happy. So someone might say, no, go for this. Goals, you can have goals. House, it's not the external factor. At the end, house will not give you the satisfaction, but that is only a satisfaction deriver. Sometimes you might say, I don't want to go to this. I don't want money. I just want to go to the temple. I want to go to church. I want to go to this mosque, and that gives me satisfaction. For them, that is a satisfaction derived. What gives you satisfaction? You have to find. So,
I see. Okay,
but I'll tell you one of my quotes. Who is right and wrong will be decided by the future. What is right and wrong will be decided by the future. Whether you are satisfied or not will be decided by the future, not by the present.
Yeah, right. Steve Jobs also said you can only connect the dots looking back.
I thought Steve Jobs said this.
Well, something
So I was
similar, I would say, Charitha. So there, you're thinking along the wavelength of another great man. But when it comes to sustaining this in your life, now people might do this for a year, they might do it for a month even, they might do it for a week. But how do you plan on helping people to sustain this throughout their life, this motivation that you will spark in them, but it has to continue as well?
Can I ask you a question, like nothing personal, but how often do you wash your clothes?
I wash my clothes regularly, I would say.
Right.
How often you have a bath?
Daily in the morning.
That's the answer. I think if you have 10 seconds, that's the answer. This is the level we are pitching at. We are not asking you to shout.
Yes.
We just bring in insights. They call me, they consider me as a brain technologist. So we consider him as an emotional motivator. So we have a mix here. We have a larger team back over there. So they are working hard to make this country a better place. So better place, you have to decide.
But speaking about making a country a better place, now you have a very lofty objective, which is to bring in, if I'm not mistaken, 10 billion rupees by the time
I gave you that example not in the show. I think we were having the chat before. I
yes.
don't know whether we should communicate that to the public.
All right. But for example,
But
there
I know,
are
if you
big
we
objectives.
can mention it.
Yeah, if you tell me, tell us by how to bring 10 billion rupees to the economy, we have a strategy. In Sri Lanka, do you want to bring in the highest per capita income per person, or more people taking in? Now, one of my dreams is by 2015, if we can stop sending housemaids, I would be glad. But I can't do it. The government will make a policy decision to support that. What I could say is, I will bring 1 billion rupees external, 1 billion rupees. So if we can match 1 billion with a grant, let's give that grant to them, do something in 2015. So that's how we are going to start.
So you have a backup plan.
Yeah, we have strategies, concepts. So we do concept strategies, but we are not going to sell those things, because training is not a business for us, it's a lifestyle. We are running behind a purpose. One day, now we are hitting the purpose now. So when we are hitting the purpose, we have nothing to achieve or prove to someone else. But if the time permits, if the society wants, if the country wants us to contribute, yes, of course.
I think we want to reinforce the fact that motivation does require a purpose, and that is what you're advocating here on the show as well, that you have to figure out what you need and then you can go after it. But what if there are, I know for a fact that there are my colleagues who, when you're in your early 20s, that it's very hard to figure out exactly what you want in life.
20s? Oh, your friend, sorry.
Love it so far.
So
I just made my Monday morning, didn't you?
Alright, yes. Okay, as you're
But,
saying,
it's just
when
a
it comes to
segment.
figuring out,
not a question.
So what she meant was the colleagues in me, early 20s.
Young age, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in your age,
Exactly.
right?
They're totally visible.
Thank you.
but when it comes to setting goals, people have problems sometimes. So how do you guide them in finding out what they want as well? Because if they don't come into your forum knowing exactly what they want from the beginning, then how can you go about sort of motivating that and helping them to find out exactly what they do want?
I think one of the things there is that a problem with Sri Lanka is at the moment that parents tend to push their kids in directions that they want them to go in. Like, so you're done with your education, go do this. Or you're expected to be this, you're expected to be all these things. And that sort of channels back to what Chari was talking about in terms of, you need to find your core. And your core, to an extent, you might not find it when you're 18, you might not find it when you're 25, you might not find it until you're about 40, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to live by certain things that make you happy.
But in the corporate world, do we see a potential growth? As in, do you see a great future ahead? Because you mentioned the fact that parents are like that, but what I see personally is that we are changing from that shift. to a contemporary, scene where the parents are thinking in the modern
There's
context.
Western influence
Yeah,
as well,
exactly. So
yes.
do you think that helps as well?
It does help, because as long as we are creating enabling environments for our youth, as long as we're creating environments where they can express themselves, they can explore, then I think we're going in the right direction. Because what we don't want to see is conditioning affecting people more than it already does. Because let's admit it, everybody's conditioned. Whether it's our upbringing, our religion, governments, all these things, whatever we are in, it just conditions us. And that's how, that's to an extent what brings in...
to a certain degree manipulates as well.
Yes, it brings in structure, which is essential to an extent, but it also makes us, walk in direction with droves of other people. We're just going the same way, and we're sort of programmed, which we don't want to happen. So you need to find your core, you need to find your purpose, and it doesn't matter that, say, for example, you're 22 and you haven't found it yet, as long as you're doing things to sort of get there. So it doesn't mean that you're a failure. What we believe is that there is no such thing as failure. There's only feedback from a situation. So what's the feedback you take from it? How can you implement it? How can you change? So
And then you learn from it.
you learn from it, definitely.
Yeah.
So what we do is, okay, you haven't done this, you're branded a failure. That doesn't work. It shouldn't work. So the fact that society is moving towards this thing about, okay, openly expressing things is a good thing.
Of course. And when it comes to the future plans that you have now with this brand of training that you've developed, you just want to take it further, I'm sure. But where do you see this leading Sri Lanka as a community as a whole?
I think Charlie will be the best person to answer that.
I think our purpose will not end, but we have very clear goals. By 2020, we should be #1 motivational brand in Asia. But what now we feel is we can even be the world #1. So, because we want to be, we want to position Sri Lanka as the best, one of the best 10 countries in this world to live in happy peace. So we want all the trainers to be in line with this. Now we don't have any competition. We just beat our best. So we help each other. We have a lot of trainers around us. #1 motivational brand in Asia. 10 international destinations operating. We know we can do it more than that. So then 100 associate trainers, because we can find out opportunities, but we need to have more trainers to send it to other countries, because other countries foreign currency will bring in, I told you 2018 strategy, so they will bring in money. We need 1,000 youth leaders. We need to groom them, 10,000 volunteers, 100,000 corporate citizens by this type of initiative. We have 3 different brands: Take Control Life, Take Control Sports, Take Control Youth. So then 1 million power initiatives in our web portal, supported by our software. So we know these are the things that happened at that time. Then 21 million inspired Sri Lankan citizens. So these are the goals. So if we can have 21 million inspired citizens by 2020, definitely we can make this country one of the 10 best, within 10 best countries in this world to live with happy and peace and prosperity and self-satisfaction. So this is the covering goal, but our purpose will not stop.
Now that's refreshing to hear. That's actually food for thought as well. I mean, for us to say it in 2013, for the next 7 years, that will be a goal that Sri Lanka as a country should have as a vision and a mission in life. So I think we pretty much covered a lot throughout the day, and I really enjoyed it so far. Yes.
And we learned a lot as well. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being with us. Fahad and Charitha.
very much.
It was a great pleasure to have you here this Monday morning.
Yes, and of course, as I said before as well, I need to thank you guys once again for being here on Good Morning Sri Lanka, and hope you get your doctorate in the near future as well.
It was outside the show, I think.
No, it was
inside the show.
Yes.
Okay.
Nevertheless, we would wish you that as well. But Good Morning Sri Lanka continues every weekday. Amaya, of course, is one of our frequent faces coming to your TVs, right, Amaya?
Yes, and Banu and I will both see you tomorrow
Exactly.
on Tuesday's show. So thank you so much for being with us here on Good Morning Sri Lanka. And we have to go for today, but we'll be back tomorrow as well. Have a good morning.